And welcome back. This video is about our brand new salt and pepper shakers. Now, the old salt and pepper shakers, we sold lots and lots and lots of them. Everyone seemed to like them. I'm not going to elaborate. It's a long and very boring story, but they've gone. So we've gone right back to the drawing board. We've completely redesigned them and hopefully made a serious improvement. And you'll see a load of them behind me. And the reason that they're here is because there's two ways that you can make these. And hopefully the design is A, quite simple, and B, quite clever. I'll show you without trying to rustle the packets too much. That's how they actually come: one salt and one pepper, with the screws and label and all sealed in a nice clean packet like that. Now you'll see I've got some already done, and if you've been on the website or got here through the link on the website, you'll see the pictures of these already up. Let's show you how they work, because the first way of doing them is to actually inset them like so. They're quite contemporary styled. This one is actually inset, and they're designed very simply by drilling a 30mm hole, and you can then put in the base part here, and that will screw back on again like so. So they're kind of similar design to the last ones. The main difference is these are all solid stainless steel, food grade stainless steel on all the parts, so they are built to last, and they're quite heavy and nice things. Now that's one way of doing them. The other way, because as you'll have seen when I take the top off, the bases fit in a slightly different way because you can screw them on. So what that means, and what I've done on this particular model, is actually use the edge of the stainless steel part when it's been on the lathe as a kind of bushing, if you like, and I've actually turned directly up to this, so it actually sits level with the wood. These are yew. I have to say I wouldn't use yew. Yew is poisonous. These are just as demonstration pieces. That's all they are really. So what I'm going to show you today is the simplicity of fitting these little salt and pepper shakers, and they really are quite lovely little things. Now, one of the things about these, as I've just mentioned, is the fact that they screw in, and one of the advantages of having something that screws in is that you can reuse it. So I'm not going to use these yew things. These were just for testing, and I just happen to have some bits of yew, so that's going to end up as firewood, and we're going to reuse the part here. What you will note, and I'm just sharing a bit of the process that we go through when testing. When I did these ones, you will see I didn't get the hole quite in the middle, and that's because I just marked it on there and screwed it on, and then I drilled the hole later and it wasn't quite in the middle. So on the outside they look fine, on the inside not quite level. Does it really matter? Maybe not, but it's nice to get things level if you can. So if I was fitting them flush to the outside, fitting them flush to the outside as that would be, what I would actually do, and you'll see me do in a minute, is to use a 30mm drill to actually inset that to start with, get its points for the 3 screw holes, and then look at drilling out the centre. That way it'll be all nice and centred. I'm hoping that's going to make sense. It probably will when I point the camera at the lathe, and you'll see how simple it is to go about doing it. I'm starting off with a bit of my favourite wood. It's beech, and it's about 130mm long, and it's 50mm square. You could probably get away with it smaller. Could probably do it 40mm without any problem, because the idea with the shakers is they fit with a 30mm drill. I'm going to mount this just in the chuck. I've got the centres marked at either end, so hopefully we'll get it all nice and centred. You could of course turn this round and then mount it in the chuck. It's entirely up to you how you go about holding it. Just for speed and to save me messing around with this end, I'm just going to put the square bit straight in the jaws and just make this part here. So I'm all centred up on here. I'm going to just turn this round and then get the end of this completely flat. My apologies if the last bit was out of focus, a bit of a problem with the auto-focusing, but whilst I'm stopped, I'll just tell you, if you watched my last video, you'd have seen me make a new tool handle. Can't get this far enough away, but I'm actually using this Henry Taylor's tool with my new ferrule and my new handle, and it's a bit longer than normal handle. I have to say, it's lovely. Anyway, let's carry on. Now, a few minutes ago I said there's 2 ways of fitting this. That's actually wrong. There's 3 ways. If I wanted to, just to drill the void in the middle, I could drill the void in the middle and I could just screw that on the top without any problem at all. But let's look at option number 1, and that's just popping a 30mm hole in this end here. That is spot on. You can see there I've got a nice clean hole for the bottom section of the shaker tops there. You'll get confused with the bottoms and the tops in a minute because I'm working on the top. I'm working on the bottom with the top, if that makes sense. Now what I need to do is look at hollowing out the centre. Now the size in here is 15mm, so I'm going to start with a 15mm drill inside there and go a little bit further down. When it comes to the actual inside, if you want to get a tool in and hollow it out, depends what shape you make it, you can obviously do that. I'm just going to drill 15mm down the centre. And we've now got our centre hole and our shaker part that can go in the top there. What I would do at this point, you can do it now or later, is mark for the pilot holes for the screws. And fitting the screws is very, very important. As I say, fitting them well, using the correct size screwdriver to make sure you don't damage the heads on the screws, because it needs to be flush on the top there. But now essentially the shaker is finished. All I've got to do is think about parting off, shaping it and finishing it the way I want to. So my next job is to actually mark in the end the screw holes, which are extremely important. I'm going to do it on the lathe with a tiny little awl here, making sure I get in the centre of that hole. They have to be absolutely spot on, and the holes need to be drilled absolutely level down there. The pilot hole's absolutely level, otherwise the screw will sit at an angle and then you won't get the top to screw on properly. So I've marked my 3 little holes there, and now you can see when those are done. If I wanted to actually enlarge that hole a bit, I probably could have gone a bit bigger than 15mm, so I might have got to 18 on there. Now I can see where my screw holes are, but I'm going to part this off, take it over to the pillar drill and drill those absolutely spot on and fit that, and then we'll have a look at doing one the other way. There, hopefully you can see are my nice drilled holes screwed in nice and flush, and if I get the top wherever it's gone to, I can screw that. Oh, fingers and thumbs this morning, there we go. And there we have a contemporary top fitted that way. Now let's have a look at method 2. So for the second method, it's pretty much like the first. I've used my cheap drill, and I've got a hole that's smack on there. I'm now going to drill the centre hole, and if I wanted to hollow out, now is when I do it, because we're going to do this one slightly differently. Once we've hollowed out the inside, I'm going to remove this and fit this end piece, and then we're going to remount it on the lathe again. Just before I screw it in, here's another little tip for you. If you do happen to make an error on the drilling of these, you can always just reposition the top a little bit further round and do some more, because you won't see them once they're in there. So I fitted my end here, and now I'm going to refit it into the chuck and use a live centre to make sure that I get this absolutely level. So I'm going to remount it. My stainless steel part is still on there. I'm going to make sure that I get that absolutely level, hopefully back in the same spot. You can number this end if you want to make sure you get it back in the same part again. Hopefully that will be okay. Seems okay so far. And now we're going to look at just turning this piece, but with this part still on. If you want to leave the tailstock there, it's entirely up to you. So there we can see that we've got the whole piece fitted on the end, and we've turned to that. Whether you want to carry on and finish that, you obviously risk sanding this part, or it can be removed and sanded and finished, and then have that part screwed back on, which I think is what I might do now. Well, as you've probably gathered, not everything has gone entirely to plan today, mainly because of the drills. That has rather thrown me, and in the middle of doing videos we've had a couple of deliveries as well, which just interrupts me. But hopefully you'll see the two different styles that we've got there. This one just smooth and fitted to the outside, that was the method number 2, and this one is method number 1. But the idea of these things is you can make some fabulous shapes and designs and really show your wood turning skills off to the best. I'm not saying these are the best ones I could do, but as always, I'm half concentrating on the turning, half concentrating on chatting to you guys to make sure you understand how to fit them. But they're pretty easy, to be honest, and I hope that's been helpful and useful. They're fabulous little things. They really are lovely. They're a mirror polished stainless steel on the top. I probably forgot to mention that. So they look absolutely super, quite contemporary. I hope it's helpful to see two different ways that they can be fitted. I'm off with some drills and a micrometer to find out what is the problem with these drills and figure out if I need to send them back or not. Please come and have a look around the website. Until next time, thanks very much for joining me. Safe turning, happy turning. See you soon. Bye bye for now.